The 5-year-old girl vanished mysteriously every day after school. One afternoon, her father resolved to clandestinely track her to uncover her destination. Tears welled in his eyes as he uncovered the truth about his daughter's daily whereabouts. Calvin noticed his daughter's tardiness returning home from school consistently for 4 days. This departure from her usual routine was perplexing. She was typically punctual and well-behaved. School ended promptly at 3:30, and she habitually headed straight home to share lunch with her father. However, that particular week, she persistently left him waiting alone. Calvin pondered her whereabouts each day. Initially, he didn't fret too much, assuming she might have lingered at a friend's house or remained in the schoolyard engaged in play. Yet, by the 5th day, Eliza exceeded her usual delay by over 3 hours, prompting Calvin's growing concern. Inquiring about her lateness, she casually mentioned having school-related tasks to attend to. Skeptical of her explanation, Calvin contacted the school the following day. "We were just about to call you," his daughter's teacher told him. He had noticed that after school, Eliza was the last child to leave. She'd also always left alone and seemed particularly nervous. "Do you know what could be going on?" the teacher asked Calvin. The father was shocked. "She doesn't come home right away, and I feel like she's lying to me about what she does after school," he told the teacher. "This all seems very strange to me, and I'm worried," Calvin continued. "Maybe I should keep an eye on her." The teacher confirmed the father's fears and advised him to carry out this plan as soon as possible. So, the next day at noon, Calvin hid in the bushes outside the schoolyard. Eliza was standing alone in the yard, looking nervous. After a while, she started, and Calvin followed her. Tracking wasn't as easy as Calvin thought. The little girl was surprisingly fast, running from one alley to another. Calvin was having a hard time keeping up with her. After a 15-minute zigzag ride, Eliza and Calvin pulled away from the city streets. The asphalt had now become grass, and the houses had been replaced by deciduous trees. His daughter stopped for a while at the entrance of a large forest. She looked around hurriedly, then disappeared into the trees. "It's no accident that my daughter came to this forest," thought Calvin. "We have a house at the edge of this great forest." The 5 hectares of land that had belonged to his family for 100 years contained 2 properties: the house where Calvin's family now lives and his grandparents' house, but the second of them was abandoned. It had been uninhabited for 50 years, but the little girl's journey ended at this house. For what reason? Why did she come here? Eliza slowly approached the old building. In her right hand, she held a large plastic bag containing something heavy. "What does she want here? And why does she hide from me that she is coming here?" wondered Calvin. But when he approached the house, he got the fright of his life. Someone was waiting for her on the balcony. Calvin hid behind a bush to see what his daughter was doing. Eliza walked over to the door of the house and pounded on it with her fist. The mysterious man on the balcony walked in, and after a while, he opened the front door. Eliza followed him into the house. "Who is this man? What is he doing in our house? And most importantly, what does he want from Eliza?" The woman was stunned. She tried to run, but Calvin stopped her. "Now you will tell me what you are doing here and why you secretly meet my daughter every day." The startled woman burst into tears and sat down in her chair. She took a deep breath and began to tell Calvin her sad story. "If I had known this earlier, I would have intervened immediately," Calvin later told reporters. The woman's story was so pitiful. Calvin couldn't hold back his tears. The family that lived in his house were refugees from Syria. The woman was old, and she told him they had come from Syria. She, her daughter, and her 2 sons had fled the dangerous country and ended up in a refugee camp. The conditions there were inhumane, so they had to find help. "I decided to go out on the street and ask for help. Who knows, maybe there will be a good person to help us." He walked the streets for days, hoping to find a helping hand, but no one paid attention to her. Then he met little Eliza. "My family is everything to me. I try to give them the best I could." The old woman was struggling to support herself and her family. They didn't even have food to eat, until one day, Eliza met this suffering woman near her school. She heard her painful story and felt very sorry for her. She was thinking of how she could help her, and then she got an idea. Eliza told her about the old house of Merlot and that they could live there safely. Eden led them there. The woman could not find words to thank her. "We've been living in this house for a month now," the woman told Calvin, "but we ran out of food because I have many mouths to feed. Fortunately, my dear Eliza never left us helpless. Your daughter is truly a wonderful creature." Eliza visited the old woman and her family every day. She played with the children and was interested in the problems of the family. When they ran out of food, she did what she could to help them. Every day she took as much food as she could from her house and gave it to the family. It wasn't much, but enough to survive, the old woman explained to Calvin. Hearing this shocking story, Calvin burst into tears. He felt proud of his daughter and, of course, very relieved that she wasn't involved in some bad situation. He ran back to his house to talk to her. When he got home, he found Eliza sitting in the armchair in the yard. He ran and hugged her as tight as he could. He told her that he had followed her and that he knew everything about the old woman's family. "It's okay, love. Please don't keep any more secrets from me, okay?" Her father begged her. "I almost burst out of my agony, but I admired you for the good deeds you did. You are a rare girl." His concerns of the day transformed into deep admiration and pride for his young daughter. Upon sharing the tale of his wife, Eliza's family embarked on a remarkable journey of compassion. They resolved to assist the elderly woman named Anissa and her family. Anissa found refuge in their home, where she could stay free of charge along with her children, and they ensured an ample daily supply of food for them. But their generosity didn't end there. They organized a fundraiser, raising a substantial amount of money. With these funds, they renovated the old house, transforming it into a sanctuary for those in need. Eliza and her family now extend their care to 20 individuals. Among them, 5 found the support they needed to rebuild their lives, establishing their own businesses and securing homes of their own. This chain of benevolence, ignited by the innocence of a young girl, holds a profound lesson for us all. It underscores the imperative to extend aid to those in distress and to embrace compassion for all beings. Let us not confine our concerns solely to ourselves. Love, as demonstrated by Eliza, possesses the transformative power to effect positive change in our world, addressing the myriad challenges confronting humanity today.